Welcome to the Blueprint Pros Podcast, a show to educate small business owners on the secrets to growing your business by landing big contracts with the Fortune 500 companies. And now, please welcome your host, the ultimate insider, Randall Dobbins.
My weight loss journey has been fascinating. Like everyone, I've tried a whole host of different things. I guess what's called yo-yo dieting. So I originally, back in the day, started with Atkins. And it was one of those things after I really stopped playing tennis, after my son was out the house, and I started really settling into a sedentary lifestyle. My weight just got completely out of control. And so there were some low level things I was doing. I tried to get back into tennis. I actually played a little volleyball for a little bit and whatnot, but that just didn't keep me going because of the start and stop nature of the seasons. And because I was in Texas, I really and truly cannot handle the heat and humidity. I prefer the heat of Arizona over the humidity of Houston, Texas. And so years and years and years went by. And of course, my weight kept gaining. I plateaued somewhere at about 245, and then my doctor at that point said, you do need to lose some weight. Your cholesterol is a little high. Thank goodness I didn't have high blood pressure and or diabetes. And he said, at this point, you really and truly can lose additional weight, just by doing portion controls. Only eat half of what's in front of you and just go from there. And I don't know, somehow I heard it go in one ear, but when you have an extra value meal or when you go to a nice steakhouse, pushing half of your food away just isn't, it's counterintuitive. It's like, nope, I'm going to commit. And remember, there are starving children in some point in Africa, in India, someplace. There are starving children. And so, a clean plate is a happy plate. And so that just really didn't work for me. And I think over the years, it still started getting progressively worse. Now I'm having shortness of breath while I'm on airplane. So then I have to get into deep breathing exercise. There's nothing like being short of breath at 30,000 feet. And then, of course, altitude issues because of going skiing and needing 2 or 3 days to acclimate before I can actually get on the ski slopes. And the point being, my cardiovascular system had just also began to show the effects of the aging. And of course, the weight loss didn't help. And so I thought, well, maybe, I can just walk a few steps or whatnot. But then, of course, that became a big thing. It was like, well, what time of day can I walk? Because I don't want to go and walk and be miserable. And then one of my idiosyncrasies, trying to join a gym or whatnot is I hate getting into my car being all sweaty and funky. The last thing I wanted to get in my car and smell myself, all right? Or to smell that version of myself. Let me be very clear about that. The version of me with some cologne on, that version's okay. The part of me that came out the gym, not so much. And so I just did nothing. A confused mind will take no action. I just couldn't find something that would work for me. And then finally, here recently, and I guess I reached a tipping point. I've looked in the mirror and not really liked what I've seen for a long time. I was getting man boobs. Like, yep, I needed a training bra. I needed something. They were there. And then, of course, start getting sweat underneath. It's like now when women talk about their boobs sweating, it's like, I get it. I understand. Maybe not to the same degree that they meant it. But it's like, I've had that experience. So maybe I don't understand, but maybe I know what they're talking about. And so I got to the point, I'm like, this is just ridiculous. First, there's no reason for me to have gone from 245 up to 252. And it's time for it to stop. Really and truly. It was just a matter of making a decision. And so I go to my doctor, and it turns out by the time I get to him, I'm at 260. And so we agree that 225 for my frame is probably the right number at about, the chart says I should be about between 180 and 190, but it's like I'd look super skinny or emaciated or, just skin hanging on bones. And it's like, yeah, I have no goal to be there, and I have no goal to bulk up and do all that other kind of stuff. So the question becomes, what's a good weight for me at this point? And then how do I get there? And I'd already, if you saw my last post, started committing to just doing some walking, some little light walking. If I can walk around the block, get about 15, 30 minutes or an hour, then that'll do it. And I have enough flexibility in my day that I can carve out some time to walk. As well, it turns out I actually enjoy being out in nature. I don't take any headphones. I'm not trying to otherwise be productive. I'm just taking some time to myself and having my body get reacclimated and refamiliar with nature like I did when I was a happy child growing up. It's like, oh my goodness, for me, for my vehicle, it does wonders. So it's like, okay, I can commit to walking and I can commit to doing it 4 times a week. I'm not committing to it every day. That just seems overwhelming. So, based on where we shook out with my doctor, let me kind of bring you up to speed as to where I am. First thing, as of this morning, I've gone from 260 to 237. So I have 13 more pounds to go, 12 more pounds to go to get to my at 225. So 17 more pounds to go to get to 220. I'm going to be happy between 220 and 225. But what I ended up doing was three things. I did go ahead and take the shot, the diet shot. And I talked to my doctor about it originally. I'm like, nope, I'm not doing that. No way. That's just hokum, blah, 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 blah. But then he asked me, he says, well, you can lose the weight the slow way or the fast way. He goes, just doing the shot alone, it's going to help, but it's not going to get you there. And then I thought about it and it's like, you know what? I think I do want to be in a swimsuit by this summer, be in a bathing suit if she's like really cute. Never mind, scratch that. I may have to delete that. But I do have a goal for this summer that I want to not only if she's really cute, but if she's really worth it. That's another podcast, but let's move on. So I do actually have a goal in terms of how quickly I want to do this. Because on the one hand, I can do it slow and steady, and that's progress. That makes sense for some folks. For me, I'm like, no, I actually want to get it down because I want to feel better sooner. And if I feel better sooner and I have some confidence that I can maintain the new weight, then that's the way I'm going to go. So I decided, yep, okay, I'm going to do the shot, and I'm 2 months in. So 2 months into doing the shot, I have actually, like I said, gone from 260 to 237. Yay, me. All right. The second thing I did, which my doctor recommended, was walking. And he recommended I get up to 15,000 steps 3-4 times a week. Not quite sure I'm going to get 15,000. If you saw in my previous post, I had some issues with my shoes. So I'll gradually get up to that. I did do that. I was feeling great. Here, I'll show you some of my numbers. I've got my activity tracker where I'm looking at the number of steps that I'm getting in. So, I'm monitoring that. So that's a good thing. The third thing I did was, yes. I've started counting calories because the third thing he mentioned was for me to stay between 1,500 to 2,000 calories per day. And it turns out that once I started looking at what I was consuming, when I was eating, what was in it, it turned out to actually be pretty easy for me to get down to 1,500 calories per day. Now, once again, I'm doing three things. I'm taking the diet shot, I'm walking, and I'm managing my caloric intake. Now, let me tell you where all of this really began to make sense for me, because on the one hand, I was just doing it because I knew it was the right thing to do. But like anything with me, it's something I have to take ownership of in order for it to last. Doing it because somebody told me to do it typically is not enough for me. It's like I have to understand why it works this way. So in doing my research, and some of you probably know this, so it's like, feel free to say, yeah, Randall, we already knew that. I found something interesting. I was doing some internet searching, and one day it just hit me to ask the question, how many calories are there in a pound of body fat? Guess what? The answer came back 3,500. Now, I don't know if that's for men or for women. That was just a generic number. I didn't put a lot of context around it. But it was fascinating to me because what it said was, if you burn 3,500 more calories than you consume, then you will lose a pound of fat. Okay. So now it made sense to me when people would say if your goal was to lose a pound of body fat a week, then if you burn 3,500 more calories than you consumed, the point being that if you exercised and burned more calories or you reduced your caloric intake, then 50 calories per day, I'm sorry, 500 calories per day, that's 3,500 for the week. That gets you to your weight loss of 1 pound a week. Like, oh my goodness. And so now it's like whether it was the Atkins diet, whether it was the Miami diet, whether it was the keto diet, whatever it is, the idea is, well, how do you end up burning more calories than you're consuming so that you have the weight loss? So now with my activity tracker, not only as I was I looking at steps, but now you can see where my calorie count is. And so doing nothing, laying on the sofa, being a couch potato, I'm at about 2,400 calories a day. So in order for me to maintain whatever weight I get to at 225, 220, then as long as I don't eat more than I'm burning, I should be able to maintain that weight. Weight loss now is just a math thing, okay? At 3,500 calories per ounce of body fat, I can get this. I can do this. I can figure out all kinds of things in any given day to help me manage either a daily goal, a weekly goal, or a monthly goal. So this is super exciting to me because it's like between the working out or the walking, I'm going to get into pickleball, which is something that my doctor recommended because then I can get a higher calorie burn. And looking at my activity tracker, I can see the difference between my resting calories and my active calories. So I do know how to turn on additional caloric burn. I do know how to reduce calories because now with a lot of the foods, I'm actually looking at how many calories are in a single serving meal. What are the portion sizes when I go out to eat? I'm looking at it. I know what I have a taste for. I know about how much I can eat. I know if I really go heavy on one meal, what I can do on other meals throughout the week. It's like, oh my goodness, my list of options and how to do this are unlimited now because I finally can take ownership of my weight loss and do it in a way that works for my lifestyle. So I'm excited. The my B cup or A cup or whatever it is, it's going down. I look in the mirror and I like myself, and that really was the final straw. Was when I looked in the mirror. It's like, dude, this has just got to stop. This is over. This is done. So I'm like, okay, all right. Let me get serious about this. Let me take ownership of it and let me go from there. Now, you might be saying, well, Randall, how does this relate to corporate contracting? It's like, I'm glad you asked. And the simple question is this. I had to figure out what was going on. I had to discover what I didn't know in order to come up with solutions that I hadn't yet imagined. If you had told me that between the various things I'm doing, counting calories, taking a shot, a diet shot, doing all these other things would have been something that I would have. I'm like, no, I would have just followed somebody's diet and been done with it. In this case, what I've done is taken pieces of different things to make something that works for me. All right. And so when it comes to corporate contracting, that's actually the job that you're doing for your customers. When you discover what you don't know about either what's going on in their situation, in their pain, when you go and discover things about why what you're doing works and why it drives the value you do, then you can discover how it is that it's going to help your customers and how it's going to improve your business. Okay. And by doing that level of analysis and getting in depth and whatnot, without, getting inside your head too much, that's when the breakthroughs come through and you start hitting on those solutions that your customers are desperately in search for. So, like I always say, discover what you don't know to create what you haven't imagined. And to that end, I still think that, if you're looking for a blueprint for business partners who can accelerate your ability to increase scale and handle large contracts and increase capacity so that you can, sustain it and take on even more, then you need a business partner blueprint. And once again, you can click on the link below and take the quiz and identify what the current status of your business is. It's free, and get some tips and suggestions on moving forward. Or you can go to the profile in this Instagram post and click on take the quiz and get going. So I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye for now. And I'm going to keep you posted on when I hit my 225, 220. Take care. I may only be about 2 months out. Bye.
You have been listening to the Blueprint Pros podcast with Randall Dobbins, the ultimate corporate contracts insider. For more information on our training and programs, please visit training.businesspartnerblueprint.com. And please, if you like this show, subscribe now to this channel to be notified of new episodes. And of course, please tell your friends and colleagues about us. We look forward to sharing more with you on our next episode. Thank you for joining us today. Goodbye for now.